Ipoh, the state capital of Perak, is located at the heart of the Kinta Valley. Once the largest tin mining town in Malaya, Kinta Valley hides a wealth of stories, including those of a few unsung heroes known only to their immediate families. One particular story of two unsung heroes would be unveiled soon with the publication of a book by one of their descendants.
It started out as a discovery of my own roots and my great-great-grandfather. And as I tried to put him in context of the larger revolution in Perak, I just found that it's a big pity that nothing like this had been done for Ipoh and for Perak before. Perak was a huge contributor to the revolution. It was top 3 in terms of raising funds for one of the most important uprising, which was Sun Yat-sen's last organized uprising in 1910, called the Huanghua Gang uprising. Nobody talks about the martyrs who have died and for the cause, and I feel that it's a story that should be told.
Su-ming is the great-great-granddaughter of Lee Kuan-sui, one of the key supporters of Dr. Sun Yat-sen in Kinta Valley. She decided to write a book after reading a stack of documents on Lee and Dr. Sun that was passed down from her grandmom's memoirs.
When I got down to reading the memoirs, I was totally intrigued because there was a letter from Dr. Sun Yat-sen to him in English, written in 1914 from Tokyo. And it made me feel like some sort of a Dan Brown character, trying to crack Da Vinci's code when he talked about a spy in the midst and not to trust this person with any of the funds raised, and that money that's raised should be sort of remitted directly to him or not at all. So I couldn't really figure out who this person was, because in those days the handwriting was so curly, and then I didn't really have enough information or knowledge about Chinese history to guesstimate. But I just totally found it intriguing.
Su-ming decided to come back to Malaysia to research more about Lee.
When I was in Penang, I hooked up with people at the 120 Armenian base, and the owner of the base, her name is Salma Koo. She actually recommended that I come here and I speak to Mr. Law Sia Hong of the Perak Heritage Society.
Sia Hong is a vice president of Perak Heritage Society who has been conducting numerous historical trails in the state over the years. To Sia Hong, Su-ming is like a missing puzzle. Getting her side of story has completed the puzzle for this chapter in history.
Having understood that Perak was actually important to the Wuchang uprising, which was a success story for the revolution, then we thought, hey, listen, something should be done more about the places in Perak to help people understand. And for people like us, this is the thing that links Perak to the world.
Today, Sia Hong and Su-ming are conducting a historical trail following Dr. Sun, Lee and another key supporter, Tay Lai Sing's activities in Ipoh. Along with them are a professor and students from the National University of Singapore Chinese Studies. The group first visited Lee and Tay's graves at Hokkien Cemetery to pay respects.
Again.
The magnificent gravestones clearly reflect Tay and Lee's respectful past, with inscriptions from the Kuomintang government acknowledging their contribution towards the revolution. The words of phrase, benevolence and loyalty, honor and peace were dedicated to Tay Lai Sing. He was the president of Tongmen Hui in Perak, a revolutionary organization that later became Kuomintang. They contributed generously to help finance the revolution. To celebrate the victory of the revolution, they organized Ipoh's first public rally together with a queue-cutting ceremony on November 2, 1911. His residency used to be the meeting place among the Tongmen Hui's leaders to discuss the revolution and uprising plans. The house had to give way eventually for the development of a rail track. Now his grandson, Tay Chin Leung, is running his remaining sundry shop at Treasure Street, now known as Jalan Biji Timah.
Okay. This shop house was actually not lived in. It was merely a business, a place to trade. They Lacing, in fact, had a big bungalow at the edge of town. 其實嗰個正式嘅地點喺邊時咧？係咪個天橋邊皮嗰度？
邊個？
鄭龍山嘅大紅樓
佢
喺呢個 Connolly Road 係咪？
喺嗰個松雞巴呢嗰度。
仲喺百里 Road 路口嗰度。
係啊。
蘇家陣
依家窿都起晒屋啦。
起晒屋咗啦，好大地方㗎，有時好大間嘅。
係啦，
好細間嘅，你是長大㗎啦，係啊。
In another part of Ipoh Old Town on Jalan Sultan Yusuf, formerly named Belfield Street, a row of 9 shop houses can also be linked to the other unsung hero, Lee Kuan Sui, especially the number 26, which now stand a sundry retail business named Yongzhu Cheong.
This was his home address, 26 Belfield Street. Next door, 28, which is now the Perak Hainan Association. The Perak Hainan Association has actually had 2 lots, 28 and 30. And the 28 was his business address, which was called Chop Ban Sing. Right? So, yeah.
關場
So he, Lee Kuan Sui, together with a few or another friend, built this whole row of shop houses from 24 to 40, which is just like the end of the block, one block.
Lee owned businesses such as rubber trading and tin mining then. He was the vice president of Tongmen Hui and was considered as one of Dr. Sun's most trusted aides in Southeast Asia. Based on Su Ming's grandmom's memoirs, Dr. Sun would stay at number 26 or 28 when he visited Ipoh. According to Su Ming's mom, both 26 and 28 were accessible through a connecting door on the second floor. Although now a flat wall, the evidence of the connecting door is still visible by looking at the crack of the arch.
So he was said to have stayed here when he came here, probably in 1908, and it was also said that because he was afraid of assassination, he would go out only at night through the back door.
He would not be able to use the main entrance day and night, So he would try to not let people know about it. And I've got very stupid questions asking me, oh, why is there only photographs of his thing here? He's such an important person in the world, But what he was doing then was completely illegal, right? So there was no real evidence, and because of that too, because of his need to use back lanes and so on, in Penang they invented a Penang Trail, half of which is like back lanes like this, where he would be able to escape. Hey, the police are coming for you. You run through the back lane. They will, send a few people to to do a distraction sort of thing. Some will run down that lane, and some will run down the lane kind of thing until they can make their way to the harbour and then get away from sea or hide in other places. This is the back door he would have used.
Even though the shop houses had changed ownership, it was a solace to find that they were still intact. Not only did number 26 contain a glorious history, its architectural design was also ahead of its time then.
So this construction is quite amazing. I have not seen another block of shop houses constructed with so much wonderful detailing. I have not seen a back section here that's got so many arches. Of course, there's an indication of rather more superior buildings of the time.
Even its backyard lays a hidden secret that hasn't been unearthed.
When the Japanese came, although they had destroyed a lot of the old credit notes and all to do with fundraising, they had buried one box with letters outside in the courtyard downstairs.
After visiting Lee's previous shop houses, the group's next stop is Lok Nam Club, located at Jalan Koping, now known as Jalan Raja Nasrin Shah. Established in 1916, it was exclusive for its club members. To outsiders, it would seem like an ordinary club, but once entering the club, people may discover its well-kept secret.
The first time I knew about it was in my grandmother's memoir. She wrote exactly what he did every day, his daily routine. And, I tried to, of course, to do a little bit of cross-reference, but I couldn't find anything on it. So finally, when I made my way to Lok Lam Club, I saw the huge portrait of Sun Yat-sen hanging up on high on the wall. Almost 100 years later, it's still there. So, and of course, his picture, my great-great-grandfather's was pictured in the club anniversary photo taken in 1921. So I believe, together with what my grandmother had wrote and what is up on the wall, that this was probably a place where at least members of the Kuomintang gathered.
Su Ming says seeing the pictures at the club make her feel closer to Dr. Sun and even closer to her great-great-grandfather. To Su Ming, this trail is not just a research for her book, it's also for her to search for her roots, the family heritage, and to share what the ancestors have passed down to the younger generations. She says this journey is just a beginning.
Yeah, we want to do this in a more engaging and more interactive way, and I hope that Mr. Law and the Perak Heritage Society will help us to conduct more trails. This would be part of the heritage trail for Ipoh, one of the many heritage trails that Ipoh should have.